Well, I am so grateful that we had an opportunity to get together and to create space for us to talk to each other and to get into some issues. I know my session, or I feel revved up from the session, we were able to deep and wide relatively quickly, and I hope it's true for all of you in your dins. It's sad to not be together in person. We've done our best to give y'all an opportunity to connect with each other, and this was a very intentional exercise that really we hope to you to do. Want to do a special shout out to my co-workers, Dave and Amanda, who have done just fantastic partners in this journey. I'm going to be able to name anyone on the committee, also our committee members who did a fantastic job just jumping into this with us and changing course and putting into a virtual setting. I really hope this experience was good and meaningful and informative to you. You walk away with new thoughts and more complicated thinking about this topic. That you can take this conversation in your workspaces with other Lyceumites over text, over chat, whenever, over drinks, whatever it is that you're doing in these times. I hope you and your families are well. Thank you again for being with us. And it's sad to say goodbye, but also a relief that we pulled this off. I'm going to pass it off to our president. But before I do that, I do want to give Dade and Amanda a chance to say anything before we say goodbye to you all. Mandy or Dade, who wants to go first?
I'll go first. I just want to thank everybody for your support and for joining us in the first ever virtual conference. It hasn't been easy, but thank you so much for sticking with us and for engaging.
Yeah, thank you, Michelle and Amanda, for pulling me into this conference. I wish y'all could have been down here in Beaumont. I hope you all got your little gift package, but I'm going to go ahead and follow up and send another one. It's going to be a bottle of humidity and mosquitoes, since y'all did not get to enjoy Beaumont in September. But it was a unique challenge. I hope this is our last virtual conference. I hope we can get back to some normalcy sooner rather than later. But I think it worked out pretty darn well, all things considered. And hope y'all enjoyed that panel. Those are three really good guys who really get down into the weeds of the criminal justice system every single day. It was a little intimidating. Chairman Whitmire's only been in the Senate he's only been in the legislature for 50 years. So he's forgotten more about this topic than I'll ever know. But and of course, Speaker Moody and Chairman White. So I hope y'all enjoyed that. I thought they did a fantastic job. But thank y'all for participating and sticking around for 3 weeks. And again, hopefully Dripping Springs will be in person. So thank y'all.
All right, Madam President.
Thank you. Chairs, this was just a great exercise and pivoting and demonstrating, your leadership and the flexibility of the organization. So I appreciate you for sticking with us through all of the changes. And for leading that change. That was a team effort, no doubt, with our back office team and our chairs of the conference. So if you have any questions or suggestions for us moving forward in the event that we do continue or are forced to continue to stay virtual, we want to hear those suggestions. And I know this group isn't shy about sharing those, but there are 3 things that I really just wanted to wrap up with. One, if anyone was leading one of the breakout discussions and has something that was just really compelling from their group discussion that they wanted to share, wanted to open up the floor and create just a few minutes for those group leaders to share any highlights from their discussion.
So I'll start. I was actually in Laura's group, and since this was her idea, I'll allow the other moderators a moment or two to collect their thoughts. There were 4 people in our group, and among the 4, one is a former prosecutor for the state of Texas, and the other one is a law enforcement officer. And so there was a nice balance about understanding competing interests inside this very strange and complex system needs and wants and desires. And if the four of us were able to come to a conclusion about one thing, and we did, there were several things that we came to conclusions about, but the big overarching one was that the complexities and the nuances of this subject, of this problem, are very real. They touch human beings in very real ways, both inside and outside of the system, but complex and nuanced nevertheless. The second item that we all were able to agree on, and quite readily so, was that the renewed premium needs to be placed on the human aspects of this problem, not the monetary components.
For our afternoon plenary, we are so pleased to have you back. And
so that was the crux of our discussion, the complexities and the human components, and I believe that the four of us left that conversation more thoughtful and more informed than we went into it. Thanks, Laura.
Thank you.
Yeah, so I was one of the leaders talking about uncompensated prison labor. Great conversation, and a lot of it had to be philosophical because not everybody has experience in the criminal justice system. I did happen to have experience in that area, and to Dave Lilly's point, the phrase that I went into it with and came out of it with is, it's easy to be principled until you are the one who has to live with the consequences. And that just makes things so difficult. Do you pay for things up front, or do you take the long view? Where does the human fit into this? And then even if you know that there may be other decisions that may help in the long term with your money, you still got to make a decision today with the money that you have. So it's, to Dave's point, it's nuanced and complicated. And what's tough is if you don't have experience in the criminal justice system, you're kind of just left at the mercy of whoever's got the best propaganda machine at the time.
Thanks, Rico. Any others?
Yes, sure. This is Jonathan Lack. I think my big takeaway from our discussion, me personally, not speaking for the group, was that when Representative Filon was saying that this is not necessarily a partisan issue, and it's an issue of fairness and how you define fairness. So as a former Lyceum director, I kind of took solace in that, even though it's a complicated problem, that it's the whole point of the Lyceum and everybody getting to know each other and working across the aisle with different backgrounds, that this issue is so complicated that the only way it would ever get resolved is by probably backroom deals with people on this screen right here who will be in elected offices either currently or in the future, to be able to pick up a phone and call somebody on the other side and have those private discussions in a civil, constructive manner. So that's what that's the optimism that I took away from our panel discussion, even though it's a complicated discussion, that not everything at its surface is a partisan component. And if we know each other better through the Lyceum, then I'm not going to always look at Johnny Sutton, who I'm friends with, as this neoconservative. I look at him as Johnny, and where can we agree with based on him and his and our relationship, and how we view the world versus the labels that we have that other people either we've chosen or other people have given. So that was my takeaway from this.
Thanks, Jonathan. We've got time for one more.
I'll go ahead and chime in from our group. Want to thank Nicole, Jonathan, Alex, and Mia. I think, certainly echoing the other sentiments, the complexity of the issue added more questions for us and wanting to dig deeper and get more information, centering around the human experience of an inmate. And I think that's the part we were missing from being in Beaumont that we would hope to have gained. And then we had the profits topic, and I think just wanting to have more transparency around the profits and where the money is going and reinvesting back into inmates.
Thank you so much. So two last things to keep in mind. All of the content from this conference has been recorded, is available, and we weren't making it available before the end of the conference because we wanted to protect the exclusive opportunity that you all have as directors and those who registered. But we will be making the content available after, and because of the role that you play in leading in Texas, feel free to share this. I know there's a lot of content, but there's really good information, good discussions that were had. So please share it. It's the first time that we've had all the content from a conference recorded and made available. So, it's a new tool that we can put in the Lyceum toolbox. And last but not least, our next conference registration will open up today, and that is the finale for 2020, the Spirits Conference in Dripping Springs. So be on the lookout for that registration coming out. And to all the alumni, this was such a great and robust discussion. The conference came together so well because we had so much great alumni engagement. We want to thank you for staying engaged with us and helping us move the Lyceum forward. And we hope that you'll be in Dripping Springs and put the dates for 2021 on your calendar as soon as you get them, and stick with us. It is a much richer discussion when you're involved in our conversations. So we want to thank you. Everyone have a great weekend, and stay in touch.